Iowa's newest abortion restriction is now law. Governor Reynolds signed the so-called fetal heartbeat bill in front of an ecstatic crowd in Des Moines. At nearly the same moment, a Polk County judge dashed the hopes of abortion rights advocates. They had argued the law should not be enforced. The new law bans abortions once fetal cardiac activity is detected. Doctors say that begins around 6 weeks of pregnancy. The law takes effect immediately. Today was a victory years in the making for conservatives, but the signing kicks off what could be a lengthy court battle. Our team coverage starts with KCCI's Bo Bowman. Bo.
Well, Stacy, at the hearing today in Polk County District Court, the judge said that he would not issue an injunction just yet. Lawyers had to argue on the lawsuit's odds for the lawsuit's success in the higher courts if it was to get there. An attorney for Planned Parenthood argued that under this law, a vast majority of abortions in the state would be banned, thus creating an undue burden, the standard on which the Iowa Supreme Court has previously ruled on. The state's attorney argued the court doesn't have to lean on that standard, and since the Iowa Constitution no longer guarantees the fundamental right to an abortion, the courts can apply a different standard, establishing a reasonable connection to a legitimate interest of the government. Now, almost at the exact same moment Governor Reynolds signed the bill, District Court Judge Joseph Saidlin decided not to issue a ruling from the bench.
I cannot think of anything that would be more insulting to either side than for a judge who before Wednesday at 11 o'clock had no idea that he was going to be involved in any of this, would listen to arguments and then rule from the bench.
Now, Saidlin told the courtroom he would hope to make a ruling by Monday or Tuesday at the absolute latest, but until an injunction is granted, the law that Governor Reynolds signed today is in effect. We're live in Des Moines. Bo Bowman, KCCI 8 News, Iowa's news leader.
And Governor Reynolds signed that new law in front of the state's top evangelical leaders and Republican presidential candidates. KCCI's James Stratton shows us how we got here. James.
And Stacy, with the stroke of a pen, Governor Kim Reynolds heavily restricted abortion in our state. She signed the bill in front of about 2,000 supporters at the Family Leadership Summit in Des Moines. The legislation blocks abortion once a fetal heartbeat can be detected, the law states. Doctors say cardiac activity is usually detected around 6 weeks of pregnancy and before many women know that they're even pregnant. The bill passed after a one-day special legislative session earlier this week that lasted roughly 14 hours. Today, Governor Kim Reynolds celebrated that bill before signing.
Protecting unborn human lives from the atrocity of abortion. A worthy battle and one I will never concede. This week, in a rare and historic special session, the Iowa legislature voted for a second time to reject the inhumanity of abortion and pass the fetal heartbeat law.
And that new law is almost identical to that one that passed in 2018, ultimately blocked by a Polk County judge before it went up the system all the way to the Supreme Court. This time, a lower interpretation of the law could be implemented when deciding if it's unconstitutional. Again, as Bo said, that Polk County judge hopes to make that decision Monday. He said Tuesday at the very latest. Stacy?
James, thank you. Iowa Democrats believe the new restrictions go against what the majority of Iowans want. In a statement, Chairperson Rita Hart says, quote, Kim Reynolds showed how much she doesn't care about Iowans when she signed a cruel, unpopular abortion bill into law today while she attended a special interest group's summit, unquote.